Today I have a new stamp set that I will be using. This is the Orange You Sweet, You're the Zest. Cute, citrusy, fruit themed clear stamps. And today I'm just gonna be doing a nice, fresh, fun greeting card. My tagline today is going to be You're the Zest. And to embellish my card, I already have everything cut out. I backed my card with this yellow textured cardstock paper. It's all good to go. And then I already cut out my layerings. Today is really going to be focusing on using our clear stamps with some different colored pigment inks. These are all the remarks, and to go with my theme, I have yellow for lemons, green for limes, orange for oranges, and then my black for my words. So with that in mind, I am going to get started, and with that said, the first thing I'm going to do, set that aside. I'm going to glue my colored paper onto my card, just so that is all good to go and done with. My favorite method for attaching any layering paper is to just give it a good eyeball. There's that. And then I'm going to do my green. Let's see, do I have any marks? Oh yeah, I'll go on this side. With this card, I want it to be really fresh, really springy, and just some nice bright colors. Not going crazy with neon or anything, but just a good, unique color palette. That looks nice. And then my white paper here, this is where I'm going to take my clear stamps, open these up, peel that off, and I'm really going to be focusing on taking my slice, and this is perfect because this slice with different inks, coloring, markers, watercolors, whatever it may be, you can change it to be a different fruit. First things first, I am going to, this is I think it's a brand new one. Yes, it is. As always, I'm gonna work light to dark because if we start overlapping any of our inks with some darker or more contrasting colors, it's going to transfer onto that little sponge, and it's just annoying. And to avoid that, I'm gonna work with yellow first, then orange, then green. And get that nice and covered. Pretty cute, actually. And with my slices, I'm gonna go all over the paper and even off of it, just to give some good dimension, some good contrast, and just so it doesn't look like my pattern ended abruptly and awkwardly. I mean, you can even have like just really little slices. All right, looks pretty good with my yellow. I can cap that and set it off. Then I'm gonna go with orange, but before I do that, I am going to wipe off my stamp so that nothing is transferring. To do that, I have my Remarks dye plate cleaning solution and just some scrap paper towel. Just spray that on. Having this all off to the side just to be able to grab quickly and clean off your stamps is always nice, so that way you can just continue hashing out and continuing your craft. Looks pretty good. All right, fast forward, I have now cleaned off my stamp again, and I have my green ready to go for my limes. Ah, don't drop the stamp. If some of your impressions aren't turning out perfectly, mine aren't quite perfect either. I think it adds character though, and it shows that this card is handmade. It's not something that is being printed by a computer. It's gonna have some mistakes, it's gonna have some bleeds, but that makes it unique and that makes it yours. Notice again, I'm really overlapping. I'm not afraid if my inks touch one another or if my inks are going to spread. With these Remark pigment inks, they really have a nice opaque value to them. And they layer really beautifully. But you can see though why I had to start light to medium to dark, because if this were flip-flopped, the yellow, since it's just a naturally lighter, less pigmented tone, wouldn't have overlapped and covered what, let's say, my green did to my orange. But you can experiment, try it out. Maybe you like the effect it gives you, maybe not. I'm looking at my card and I can really see that these pigment inks are still quite wet. And with that, if I start touching or moving or manipulating, I'm gonna get pretty noticeable fingerprint marks. So to add some more dimension and just make it a little bit more interesting, I am gonna go in with my embossing powder in clear. If you don't have embossing powder, you do not have to do this step. However, I would recommend that you really hit it with a blow dryer or a heat gun and let that ink all set up before you continue on to your next steps. During that heat embossing process, you could probably see the pigment turn from a light kind of ashy color into a more saturated pigment. That's because the heat gun is literally melting the tiny granules of the embossing powder and melting it into the paper. All right, I'm gonna take my words. Today I'm gonna use the You're the Zest. I think I just wanna trim this down. I'm gonna go this way so my ruler doesn't overlap that ink. Line that up. I'm not gonna trim anything off yet because I wanna glue this down first. This specifically, these lemons and oranges and limes. Here they are. Ooh, hopefully that doesn't. Ooh, we'll just go over here. Just gonna mark that. trim. And here I have my handy dandy little feet that I'm going to use my tweezers to punch out. I'm going to do 2. Uh-oh, if I can get that one out. There we go. Well, that one might be a casualty. We'll try again. There we go. Okay, that took way longer than I thought, but I have my feet down. I have the You're the Zest at the bottom, and I'm just going to go with my tweezers again. And I think I'm going to do just in the middle there. I have these nice little green gems that I think will go nicely with my limes. If you have some little yellow ones or clear ones, orange, you can certainly go ahead and use those. And then my favorite trick with my X-Acto knife, just pushing that down. And looking at it, I think I'm satisfied. I'm gonna push any of these little gems down just to make sure they stay in place. And I'm happy with it. Now today we did a lot of layering, a lot of paper crafting, heat embossing, stamping, 3-dimensional pop-outs, and some additional embellishments. Pretty easy to make, straight to the point, and it really utilizes our stamps. Again, I went in with my heat embossing and my different colored Remarks pigment inks to just make everything pop nicely. So with that said, we would love to see what you will make with our stamps. So please tag us in your posts on social media with hashtag #StampWithUs. Again, that's hashtag #StampWithUs so that we can see what you will make. Thanks for joining.